Great Mother speaks to us through us. And in these readings on a collective unconscious level, in the shadows she casts in each moon phase, chakra, variant god, and goddess energy, and seen from The Wizard of Oz and Dorothy's narrative, the poster child of Mama Drama Trauma, as illustrated in the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck, based on the 49 scenes of her journey to live MDT free. What is MDT? Mama Drama Trauma is a condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. In cases when the mother is unwilling, unable, or unavailable to heal, it is my recommendation as a professional life coach to live in loving detachment. And this is what my work does. I support people in living in loving detachment. This is the most basic, most fundamental type of loving detachment, but it's useful in all phases of our life. For more information about that, you can click the information box below. And if you would like to learn more about this deck and how to work with it to develop your empathic and or intuitive abilities to live in loving detachment, check the information box below where you see how to read deck classes. Each new moon begins a new emotional healing cycle. Here we focus on MDT. Great Mother speaks to each sign about the supportive energies available to it as a collective consciousness and offers guidance for internal activation of this subtle yet powerful support. Look for your special Great Mother Speaks reading, especially for your sign's new moon, to hear how to further enhance the success of your new lunar year plans and wishes. These readings are entitled Sun in Your Moon Sign Readings. Where was the moon when you were born? This new moon, a partial solar eclipse, is on the cusp of Aquarius Pisces. The Western ego, emotion, earth-centric moon is conjunct Venus and the South Node, bringing to light Piscean tendencies to control emotions for the highest good of the group, social network, or friends, assuming one knows what that is. While the intuitive downloads from the Capricorn moon and the Sidereal cosmically correct soul astrology may be bringing up a need to finesse the current situation more to your benefit by shrewdly releasing those people-pleasing qualities unconsciously responsible for creating relationship and group dynamic problems in the first place. For instance, instead of modifying your behavior to prevent a perceived negative outcome, lighten up. Imagine yourself at peace no matter what happens instead. If this seems far-fetched, perhaps you are over-relying on the buy-in and approval of others at this time, and the energies are pointing to a need to redefine the terms of your health, wholeness, and happiness by taking full responsibility for your thoughts, decisions, and actions, dictating the terms of your experience of this birthright. This is what this partial solar eclipse is all about. This Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, new moon energy is dealing with whatever remaining internal MDT issues came up for release during the lunar eclipse, this past full moon reading. They are now externally shining their light in the Aquarius sun and spilling over into your life in ways you are now more equipped to address. Great Mother's lunar south node energies at the Aquarius cusp and in K2, the sidereal south node conjunct Capricorn, gives us poise, grace, and the ability to admit and articulate our most sincere wants and needs to ourselves and others in practical yet loving ways. Because a partial solar eclipse, Great Mother Moon, does not totally eclipse the sun's shadows will not be felt as intensely. Great Father expressed as physical action and material life, the law, the logos, the word, in the masculine sign of Aquarius will be powerfully felt with Mercury's solar conjunction in Aquarius in both the Western and Sidereal astrology, emphasizing the abundance of support available to us all for graciousness, beautiful, and loving communication exchanges. Great Mother is subtle, unseen. She is, in fact, the comforter, the Holy Spirit the Christ spoke of, that still small voice, our intuition, knowing what we know we know. Of course, emotions is how the ego communicates to its higher self, and intuition is how the soul communicates to the ego. Great Mother is the moon, especially this new moon version of the sun and the moon in the same sign, when she is embracing the earth in the blackness of her bosom. To reduce her to only mere emotion is to not recognize her sheer energy of uncontrollable freedom, darkness, and mystery she is within us. That still, unfamiliar, little understood, or even known birthright of happiness, wholeness, and health we intuitively cling to, and why we are here to hear from her through the signs and symbols of this birth moon reading. All right, welcome Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon people. What are the supportive energies saying to you and for you during this Capricorn, Aquarius new moon? It is a partial solar eclipse, and so there is a partial pulling of the shadows. If you want to know more about pulling of the shadows and the release of the shadows, then you want to watch the lunar totality video when I explain what the eclipse season is all about and why it's so important for your moon sign. Remember, check the links below to double check your moon sign, especially your sidereal, which is the sign that is mentioned before the Western, the Capricorn for you, or for at least 4/5 of you. There is a 6-degree difference that may put some of you on the cusp, making Aquarius your sidereal sign as well. Okay, with no further ado, I have a little humidity going on here, and so the cards are just a little tight, but we're going to see what Great Mother is speaking to you this new moon planting and planning season, and what the energies are supporting you in letting go of that collective consciousness that is keeping you from fully expressing yourself in a way that you need to. Some innovations perhaps. Okay, that's the general. For you Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon people, Great Mother is coming through with a lot of energy having to do with you facing your fears about this energy, which you are heralding, which you are hosting, which you are facilitating and filtering for the entire collective consciousness. Of course, this is your celestial group, and what she's saying to you is that there is a challenge with this energy for you, and it is because you are releasing a lot. And what she's saying is that you haven't quite come to terms with this as a conscious decision. What you are needing to release, of course, Capricorn, Aquarius, is South Node, K2 energy. And so that means that the highest expression of Capricorn and Aquarius needs to be retained. And so the challenge then has to do with very root chakra concerns. The root chakra is governed by Saturn, which rules Capricorn and Aquarius. And so the ancient ruler of Aquarius in the West, of course, Uranus is the modern ruler. And so this means that you have survival concerns, you have concerns around security, and voicing your wants and your needs. You don't trust that this new way of being that you have come to familiarize yourself with since the beginning of this eclipse season in August is secure. You are aware of changes going on in your relationships with others. You have in fact grown in your friendships, in your family relations, in the journey that you've taken perhaps to obtain collective wants and needs. However, the personal satisfaction has not been realized because a challenge in this area has not been faced yet. And that challenge for you has to do with the throat chakra. So speaking that challenge, speaking that want, speaking that need. This is a very precarious thing for you to do at this time because it is a time of release. And so you might be feeling that, I need to release some of the old ways I've been relating to people that no longer serve me. I need to release some of my overly social behaviors that have made me feel secure in the past. But at the same time, because this new way of expressing myself that I've been experimenting with is not secure, I don't know. But the indication here is that because this is a first quarter moon card, the decision needs to be made, action needs to be taken, and the challenge must be faced. This is what Great Mother is coming in with you on this reading for Capricorn Aquarius people. She knows that you are a divine child. And a divine child of the Great Mother Father God is dearly loved, never judged or condemned, and never left alone. We all have our angels, guides, and ancestors, and clearly you also have a soul group that is quite supportive of you. It's just that because it's so supportive, you don't want to jeopardize that. You don't want to compromise that. You don't want to sully those relationships in any way because you do appreciate that. However, the transformative opportunity for you is to release a bad situation. And so you do know what aspects of these relationships do not serve you, what aspects of these relationships are no longer in alignment with your true identity. This is first house, collective celestial energy for you Capricorn Aquarius people. And this is where this new moon is in. It's on the cusp of Aquarius Pisces in the Western astrology. And so this is telling us that this is a highly emotional situation for you. Root chakra we see here with the Pachamama card. And so this is further confirming the Saturnal challenges that you're having. And of course, Saturn with you is, it's in your 11th house. It's in your 11th house in your Western astrology and your 11th house in your Vedic astrology because Saturn is in Sagittarius right now. And so this whole issue about the public, other people, groups, networking, you need to reground yourself in something that you can actually feel a genuine joy about, that you can actually feel a genuine connection with people, public associations, social networks that really do reflect who and what you are about. This is the energy that is available to support you, although on an emotional level it may feel like this challenge is overwhelming. On a spiritual and on a cosmic level, the support is available to you to reground yourself. Great Mother is saying take time out with Earth Mother, the variant energy of Gaia, of Great Mother, to ground yourself by the fairies, the air, the trees. Even if it's cold outside, stand outside under close to the house or close to a building. If you have a workplace that has those huge vestibules that you walk out of with the little roof area, but you're still outside, just go out there and breathe for about 5 or 10 minutes, because you need to actively reground yourself. Literally. You need to physically reground yourself in the world. The types of food that you eat really do need to be easy for you to digest. Root chakra is anal energy. It has to do with release again. So you are heralding the planetary release of Capricorn, Aquarius energies that are no longer supporting us cosmically. And what could those be? Those could be energies that have to do with being a little bit too detail oriented, a little bit too by the book, a little bit too strategical, a little bit so innovative and so creative and whatnot, that you really don't quite fully think out the humanitarian attributes that is going to serve. You know, kind of a little bit more of the personal aspect kind of involved in that. And this is not a judgment. We are divine children, the great mother, father, God. This is awareness. And so the more aware we are, the more conscious choices and actions we take. Because remember, Leo is in the North Node. And so that is individual expression. And so North Node means where we're going. And so maybe where you're going is to be more individualistic in your innovative and your creative approaches to assisting humanity. And that might be where you're insecure. That might be where you don't know how to apply your networking abilities the way you have used those relationships in the past to what's going on in the future, because that's not secure. You don't quite know yet. You're in the experimental phase. And that's why Great Mother is saying the transformative opportunity for you, Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon people, is to physically actually breathe the air, go outside, do some earthing, barefoot where you can, and just breathe in the earth, breathe in the environment. Go outside at night, look up at the stars. That's one thing about the cold. When it's cold outside, you don't have a whole lot of atmospheric pollution as much. And the nights can be quite clear. And she wants you to breathe that in and feel that, because this Saturnal energy runs and courses through your blood. People are planets, and she wants you to be reconstituted. She wants you to be empowered so that you can release what needs to be released for you. Because what she doesn't want you to overlook, Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon people, is that there is an inner wisdom that you have that is beyond all understanding. There's an inner wisdom that you have, this new moon phase, this is the new moon heart chakra card, that is so heart focused, so heart oriented, and the heart is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. And so we know that the root chakra is heart below energy, that has to do with survival and instinct and our emotions, which is what we associate the Western astrology, the Aquarius, with. And so the Aquarian emotion that is being downloaded by these shadows of the moon, the shadow of this new moon, has to do with there not being any clarity. It's completely dark when you go outside now at night, and you don't see. And so when it's darkest, we have to go by feel. We have to go by that gut. And for you, taking it higher, go by your heart. Follow your heart. Follow what you know to be true for you. This has to do with seeking a good outcome for the entire group. Even if it is something that is your individual expression, it has to do with seeking the knowledge that you need to be able to make the best decision that you need. In this scene of The Wizard of Oz, we see the Scarecrow, and this is when Dorothy begins her journey on the yellow brick road, and she asks him, which way should I go? To Oz. And he says, any path will take you there. So in your heart, you know that you are already on the path, Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon people. There is an inner wisdom that is telling you that you are on your way. It's just that you need to face the challenges that entails.
and to trust the wisdom of your throat chakra, which is again heart above energy, to speak, to express what it is that you know. Great Mother is acknowledging that there is a great fear for you to do that, because it does mean that there is a decision, action, first quarter moon again, root chakra, to disrupt that security and that safety that you now enjoy. But just as we see in this scene of The Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy sets herself aside and sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow when she feels abandoned and misunderstood on the farm, you take a moment and communicate with Great Mother. Because the Piscean energy is in your second house. It has to do with your values, your beliefs, what you most treasure. And what Great Mother is saying to you is that although the emotional upload that you're giving your soul, that, oh my gosh, this is crazy, you're wanting me to trust you, this Capricorn soul energy, you wanted me to trust this shrewd decision and go forward with it, is something that you have cosmic support in doing in a way that is completely about spiritual awareness, that is going to support you in no longer procrastinating. Because Piscean energy, when we work with the new moon energies and we make our new moon wishes for what we want to plant for the upcoming season, this is particularly powerful for a partial solar eclipse, because you're pulling energy from the sun as well. And the sun is in Aquarius in both the Western and in the Vedic astrology, which means that the physical power that you have to mentally focus is very strong with regard to this group dynamic issue. And the Piscean new moon energy that is very insecure around these root chakra issues is going to be supported with letting go of addictions, whether they're addictions to approval, letting go of insecurities around being defeated by your choices or not trusting your decisions, because this is about faith, Capricorn Aquarius moon people. Make no doubt about it. This is about that Uranus Western energy, emotional energy that is going forward. It's about manifesting dreams, okay? It's about excitement, surprise, a forthrightness, and an objectivity. And so you already have that, which is why this is kind of frustrating for you, is because you really know that what you're leaning towards, the transition that you're wanting to make in your life, although you're having to release some old behaviors of the past, there are really a lot of benefits for you. It's just a bit fearful to let those things go, and Pisces is going to help you with tolerance and self-acceptance and the surrender and trust that you need. Focus on the strong qualities that are available in Piscean energy that has to do with being able to recognize deception and disappointments and not being looped into an emotional downfall again of defeatism, but taking that time with Great Mother. Dorothy singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. She's connecting with Great Mother. I remember a lullaby. She remembered when she was connected, when she was loved, when she was nurtured. Remember that feeling within yourself as a divine child on a soul level, knowing that you are always cared for, that you are always guided and never left alone. Connect with your angels. Talk to them. When you get intuitive downloads from your soul, with this energy, you're going to probably be feeling through these shadows right before this reading, during the balsamic moon period. Your soul is probably giving you some real intuitive unctions about your integrity. Okay, and integrity has to do with telling yourself the truth. And so telling yourself the truth about this new direction that you want to go in with relationship to others, with relationship to expressing yourself. Your soul knows that it's time for you to do this, and that's what you're feeling. That's what part of the frustration is. But remember that there is eternal grace and mercy. If you really, 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 because of your circumstances, Capricorn, Aquarius Moon people, are not prepared, you're not ready, you really, really are so afraid that you just are paralyzed, you can't do it at this time, even though the energy support it, grace and mercy is eternal. There will be another cycle of time that will support you, not in this way. Okay, it takes 18 months for an ecliptical season to complete itself, and then it goes through all the celestial processional signs, and so it won't come back again for another 20 years or so. This particular energy, and then it won't be exactly the way it is, but the similar energy to now. It would be another 20 years, but it's okay. Tell yourself the truth either way. If the truth is, I can't do this right now, I'm just not equipped to do with this, but I can be conscious, I can be aware, I can start working with these energies. I'm glad I listened to this. Aren't you glad you listened to it? Aren't you glad that you are aware? And I know that this is a path. I had no idea. This is a great confirmation for me, but I'm not there yet. Great. And it's also great if you are like, hey, yes, that's what I needed to hear. I'm going to go forward with this. I know when Great Mother, Father God is down with me, I am down. I'm good. I'm ready to go. Well, then that's good too. Because the balsamic moon is about downloads. It is the period right before the new moon where we really do get a lot of intuitive information and a lot of clarification about the direction that we go into. And so that's wonderful. Some of the things that your soul has been receiving from you emotionally here with all of this Aquarius energy, all of this, first and second house energy with your identity and with your values has to do with, you really needing to, just like the full moon, express yourself. This is an indication that it might be useful for you to look at your total lunar eclipse full moon video that was uploaded this past full moon, January full moon on the 31st, and that was a total lunar eclipse. And those happen during the full moon. Those are full illumination. Those are full shadow release opportunities. And for you, the energies that are returning for you have to do with this selfhood. And so this is kind of a partial pulling of the shadow, as I was mentioning earlier, because it's a partial solar eclipse. Solar eclipses have to do with pulling shadows, showing us what shadows exist in our lives, and the lunar eclipse have to do with releasing those shadows. And so what still needs to be released, Capricorn, Aquarius Moon people, is a fear of fully expressing yourself. See, we have the throat chakra here again. It's right underneath the throat chakra card about facing challenges. Okay, it's right underneath this card, the Sphinx, and it's taking it up a notch from the first quarter moon to act and decide to actually illuminating it, bringing it to fruition. And so bringing your self-expression to fruition is what is optimally opportune for you on a soul level. You will receive soul support in doing that. And that is, in fact, for many of you, what you may already be doing. You may already be expressing yourself, which is maybe a reason why you're kind of feeling a little fearful, because it's like, I'm not really getting that social, Aquarian, collective, public reaction from my friends that I think it's great. And so that might be it for some of you. Okay, but again, that's okay. That's okay. This is a confirmation for you. Great Mother provides us clarity, balance, and confirmation. She's saying that what needs to be released now is the over processing of the matter. You've been thinking about it and thinking about it and processing it and this and this, that and the other. Just pray, surrender, trust, meditate, so that the panic attacks that you may be having can be released. You don't want to take that into your new moon season, the next lunar phase. You want to build on the strength of your self-acceptance. You want to build on the strength of your spiritual awareness. And so there's no need to continue processing. This is another balsamic moon card. And so you've already received the download that this is no longer necessary. Remember that Saturn is in your 12th house. And so 11th and 12th house, 11th in the Sidereal. And so on a soul level, the soul is also dealing with group issues. And so that's why there's an alignment that's happening here, as always. And the 12th house in the Western, the ego, you probably feel a little alienated. You might actually be hospitalized or not well. And so you're not able to be around groups of people as much. Or you might just kind of feel like you are, what's the word for it? That you are, blocked, that you can't really converse the way that you want to converse. And so as we look at these energies, you can also really kind of consider the fact that you really don't need to continue processing it. Okay, let that go. Let that go. You've processed it. You have your answer now. It's new moon time. What needs to be embodied right now is an attitude of self-compassion. This is hard work. This is hard spiritual work. These subtle energies are nothing to fool with. And that's why, people, are very hesitant about engaging it, because it's all about being able to read the truth. And you have support in doing that. Your soul is downloading to you what the truth is. And you keep questioning it. But what Great Mother is saying is that right now, you have an exquisite opportunity to receive the support of the cosmos, to just love on yourself. Again, you have heart chakra energy. You have the heart in the new moon, and the crescent comes right after the new moon, Capricorn, Aquarius moon people. And so coming up to bolster this decision to actually trust your inner wisdom is the support to trust your self enough to love yourself and forgive yourself for any fears, for any hesitations, for any addictions, any self-deception, any defeatism that still lingers. These energies, that's why I often refer people to previous videos, to previous new moon and full moon readings, because it's a process. Just like Great Mother moving through the constellations, it builds and it builds, exactly like this ecliptical season. Now we have Capricorn Aquarius, that is the moon that we're dealing with, and before we were dealing with the Cancer Leo energy. And so back and forth, as we have, again, watch the total lunar totality to understand about the eclipses and the north and south nodes. You want to also know your own north and south nodes when you book a reading, because the moon readings are designed to look at your particular cosmic calculus, as I call it. This cosmic calculus is a personal reading that actually looks at how your wheelhouse, your Aquarius moon might actually be in your 8th house, ruled by the sun. It would very much completely shift the focus for you in this reading. Okay, your focus might not so much be on fear because of your particular cosmic calculus. It might really be on the inner wisdom and self-compassion for you because of other issues in your chart and the placement of your moon sign. The outcome, Great Mother is saying, is that either you will actually begin to create the life that you want with others, or you will actually continue to feel defeated by this tendency to be overly dependent on others. Maybe you've been a Pied Piper in the past type of person, and that's all you know how to be. You know, we've met people like this. And Mercury is always very close to the sun, and with the sun in Aquarius, it's conjunct Mercury. In the Sidereal astrology, it's in the nakshatra of Dhanista. And this has to do with an energy, and of course Mercury has to do with communication, short distance travel, diplomacy, dealing with people in very astute ways. This nakshatra is a winning personality. People born under this particular nakshatra, speaking of personal readings, are extremely vivacious. They're very caring people, and they are popular. Because they learn through the group, and they tend to be successful in things like sales. They're just social creatures, and obviously, you know, if you're like that, you are going to be successful on many accounts. They are protective of other people, you know, people that they love in particular. They're not particularly spiritual people, which, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if this kind of comes at some people sideways. Of course, I like to mention as much as I can that these videos originally came to support my clients who do the inner work of mama drama trauma, and are developing their intuition, sensitivity, and empathic abilities. And so these are for people who are already quite sensitive. But if you're not, well, then you might end up really feeling victimized by the situation as opposed to seeing the opportunity. You know, there's a cosmic opportunity to receive support, to change your life in ways that your relationships with others, particularly groups, will be enhanced, as well as your marital and close partner relationships, because those suffer with people who tend to be group learners. They tend to be quite secondary. And so this energy is really helping you to release those things, because it's South Node and K2, and that may be such a challenge for some of you that you may end up feeling victimized by this. I hate to end the reading like this, which is why I really want to emphasize the personal readings, as well as this is pulling shadows time. Remember, solar eclipses show us the shadows, and lunar eclipses allow us to cleanse them. We have another lunar eclipse coming up at the end of July, the 27th and 28th. And so this, for everybody, is just showing you what the shadows are. And again, shadows are those inconvenient truths. Okay, this is crescent moon, which is showing up as another crescent moon with the self-compassion, with just heart chakra. And the Ankh in this deck represents the second chakra. So your desire at this time may not be to make that shift. If your desire is to make that shift, you're going to receive a lot of support right after the new moon to be self-compassionate. You might not do things exactly the right way. You might not communicate to people in exactly the perfect fashion, your new direction. And so Great Mother is saying, that's to be expected when we go into new journeys, into new directions. Have compassion for yourself. You know what to do, Capricorn, Aquarius, Moon people. You are so wonderful, so divinely loved, and so supported, even by this Saturnal energy that is really helping you to release all of these things as well. You know, in the Sidereal, it's in the nakshatra of Mool, and Mool is ruled by K2. Okay, and so actually Sagittarius is in K2. I'm sorry, Capricorn in the Sidereal is in K2. Mool is ruled by K2, and so together with, there's a lot of support to help you let go of things that Mool is a nakshatra about wealth. It's about getting to the root of something, because you are not afraid of total destruction. You've probably come from very difficult circumstances, and so as a collective consciousness, this is a difficult circumstance for you. It's a transformative and unconventional situation for you that you're having to be responsible for in your life, and that's probably, you know, again, a source of the fear. And so that Mool energy is an energy that may come across to others as being a little sedity or a little snobbish, because you do have this wisdom about what's going on energetically, but it's supporting you. This is support. And so in the past, whereas that may have been excruciating not to receive the approval of others, this is supporting you to release aspects of that do not support you in creating the new life that you feel within yourself you're ready to pursue. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing, and remember that these readings are for us to become more familiar with the subtle energies of Great Mother. And Great Mother wants to connect to those of us who have been affected by mama drama trauma, most of all because of the alienation and the estrangement from our biological birth or surrogate mothers in the material realm. She really wants us to be able to connect with the intuitive abilities that we may have developed as a defense mechanism. She wants us to know that the mother of all mothers is eternally available to us. And remember, above all and most of all, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.